show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on GTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. In the studio with me, we have a very familiar face, and I guess throughout this weekend, we would have been hearing one of his top songs playing right out, Woman on Top. Woman on Top, we're just out of celebrating mothers on Sunday. Kamau, I want to welcome you to the set. The Woman on Top, well, right?
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. And happy belated Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you so much, much. How have you been recently?
I've been good. Been very busy, but it's a pleasure to be able to do what I do, so I'm excited to continue to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get right into what today's conversation is about. And,
yes.
Just over the weekend, you were alluding to something big. There's a few big events that are happening this weekend that has your involvement.
Yes, Kathy. For those music lovers, people who love good music, good food. This event this weekend is going to be special. We're coming off of this past weekend was the Elmore Stout High School concert. For those of you that know, that's been one of the best concerts, in the territory for a long time, and I was involved in helping them get that done. And the kids did an amazing job. That was inspiring. And now we're going to be rolling into the HLSCC concerts this weekend, but we have something special going on. So in addition to the amazing concert that they usually have, where you have the jazz ensemble, the HLSC chorale, they have the woodwind ensemble, they have the dance ensemble now, right? Okay. So those are usually very beautiful, dynamic concerts that showcase the best of the students at the college, but also just those in the community, because it's where the community, all the lovers of music and people who still are active in the music, they join those ensembles, and so it's a very rich musical experience. Yeah. So we have that concert on Saturday. In addition to that, we are having a BVI USVI collaboration. Oh. All right, with the University of the Virgin Islands and HLSCC. All right, my good friend, Grammy Award-winning drummer Deon Parsons. Right, he is related to Eileen Parsons. Okay. Right. He has been behind me. He was like, man, Kamau, like, there's so many great things I want to be able to collaborate with you guys, and he has lots of connections in the jazz world. He's always traveling, playing with everybody of the who's who in jazz, and he's like, I'm bringing him down to the U.S. Virgin Islands, to St. Thomas, and we're doing stuff at the school, and I would love to be able to bring them over and us have a greater collaboration between the two countries and everything. And I was like, it would be great for the students. The students will be able to get exposed, and they get to, what I mean? So, and as well as sort of build a pipeline so that our talent can get showcased in the U.S. Virgin Islands and abroad through his contacts in New York. So this is sort of the first thing we were saying, hey, let's just start off and have you get involved in the HLSCC concert. Let's jump in there and let's do a showcase. And then, hey, wouldn't it be great if since you're already here, we're gonna do a mean jazz brunch on the following day down in King Garden Bay, so they can stretch, right? Because in the concert we will do a little something, but at the jazz brunch, right, we're gonna do more than that. And who is coming? So Deon Parsons, he's gonna have his quartet, all right? That's gonna be there, but he's having the UVI Jazz Ensemble. They're bringing down a quartet of students.
Oh, wow.
right?
Wow.
So they're gonna come down. They're gonna perform at the college concert. They're gonna and then they're gonna do a longer performance, right, at Rhythm and Sands the following day at 11. And we have a special treat there because in those UVI students we have one of our very own Virgin Gorda native, all right, Mystique Flax Charles, Shireen's son.
Oh, he's going to be on a drum.
Yes, he's going to be a drummer.
Okay.
So so we have the contingent coming on from St. Thomas, but one of our own is coming on with them. Yeah. So it's like a double excitement. So I'm looking forward to this being the first. This sort of that we're sort of sparking off a greater collaboration. Deon has had me come up to collaborate with him a year ago. I got to go up and perform with jazz legend, the trumpeter John Faddis, and he with the big band that they did, and that was an amazing experience. So I'm excited for what this can turn into. So that's what is happening. So once again on Saturday we have the college concert, which kicks off at 7 p.m. All right, which is going to have a special guest performance by the students from UVI and the Deon Parsons Quartet, and then the amazing concert that we usually have. Then on Sunday at Rhythm and Sands down in King Garden Bay, we're going to have a jazz brunch between 11 and 1.
Right? It's going to be, brunch. So yeah, it's a nice setting where families can come together and bring out nice.
And, and the weekend continues a little bit more over in Virgin Gorda, because the HLSCC, they have an encore performance, right? I'm gonna be performing with the jazz band and stuff. They have an encore performance in Virgin Gorda at the Catholic Community Center on that Sunday evening. So we have basically 3 events for the music lovers in Tortola and Virgin Gorda.
What a beautiful weekend this is going to be, and when we see such a collaboration, it speaks to the growth of how we advance when we have events like this. Before now, the event at the college usually be one thing, and then year after year you see it developing into and growing into a much bigger thing. I did not expect to hear this year that we got this big. My hats off to everybody who supports the arts in the Virgin Islands. There's lots of people who are like, we want to see more, and our kids are amazing. Like you want them to have the environment of like, man, there's a lot going on. This is vibrant. If you go to places that have more developed music industries, right? That's the kind of thing that's going on. In January, I was in Panama for the Jazz Festival, and I went to some of the jam sessions, and you go around, and it's like, oh my God, this is great. Obviously, I went to school in Boston, and I was in the New York area on that jazz scene. That is, one of the top jazz scenes. So it's like we want to, as much as possible, like raise the opportunities and the exposure and just the for the general public, but also for our students and our artists, so that we can just expose them to the best and develop the best here. So I'm excited to have this collaboration happening. From where you sit, do you see a lot of our students now who are into jazz having opportunities where they can go spread their wings, like some opportunities that you have been exposed to?
The opportunities, the greatest opportunities for them now currently are end up going to school abroad.
Okay.
So in other words, if they get to go to a school somewhere in the States, obviously New York would be one of the best places for jazz. Obviously, if you go to other states that have a big jazz, you can go to the West Coast, you can go down south, obviously New Orleans area, all these areas that are like have really big jazz traditions. But it's usually you kind of have to get up and go, right? Yeah. To sort of be around the musicians to get the great teaching. What Deon Parsons is doing at the UVI is he has a very robust music
I was hearing about that
degree
from Shireen.
Right. He has a very robust music degree, and so we want to sort of extend that here as well, and sort of get them started, but be able to, the few musicians here who have been really developing jazz, myself, people like Brandon Powell at the high school, Alton Bertie, we all went to Berkeley. Okay. Right. So that was where we were able to get that sort of training. Yeah. We got a great start here, right? In the jazz band at the high school, and then some of us went to Interlochen Arts Academy. So it's like those things are the outlets to really give you that training. That's why I fell in love with jazz when I went to Interlochen, right, between 4th and 5th arm, and I just kind of like, oh man, like was like, this is something I really want to do. So that was it for me. So I want to see more of that happening.
Nice. We see you. We see Alton and the others who are there mentoring our youths when it comes to music and especially jazz. And now we have Deon Parsons coming along, who is also affiliated with the University of the
University of the Virgin Islands. Yes, he's the head of the music. He's the head of the music program there. He also has an amazing foundation, the United Jazz Foundation, that is just doing amazing work throughout the schools and here and the United States. So he's somebody that's really committed. Because he got upset that he would be traveling all over and performing with great people, and he come back home to St. Thomas and he was like, man, why isn't something better here for my people? So he was like, instead of just complaining, he was like, I have to, I have to do something about it. So we're extending that here.
Okay, so you see this as the birth of a bigger to something bigger for our musicians here, where he can come along with you guys now to help develop our youth. Expose them, give them the know-hows and the ins and the outs of what's happening there on the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yes. It's about building a bridge. It's about building a bridge, building a railroad. This is a very connected world nowadays, and one thing that keeps our talent from developing more, or keeps is when you feel like you don't have options, or you feel like if you meet somebody here on the island and they feel like what I could do, there's not much I can do here. And when they feel limited like that, it kind of keeps the ambition small, and you kind of just look around. You don't see anything to inspire you, so you just assume that that's what you can do. All right. So the more visuals that we can give them, the more experience you could say, hey, come down and look at this, and they can go, wow, I didn't know that was possible. And then they can see young people, right? Young people in their generation doing it. Then it's like it paints a different picture. All right, so I'm very, very excited to be expanding, the offerings.
Just the other day we were having a conversation about, levels of entertainment that, seems to be dying a lot in the Virgin Islands, where, it's hard to find some place to go shake a leg among like-minded people of yourself. Do you see this can be a new avenue where we can put on more shows, put on more events, not necessarily an auditorium where you just sit and enjoy, but in spaces like how you're talking now about you guys going down to Rhythm and Sands for a brunch event. Do you see more of that likely to start happening around the territory?
Kathy, that's the plan. All right, it's challenging sometimes to do what we would like to do. I mean, myself and my partner Dylan Vanterpool, they're doing a lot of great things with the properties that they have acquired, and now they're really obviously into entertainment. Mac Vanterpool and Dylan Vanterpool and family, right? So they know it from the inside out. So he's doing what they can to push and sort of put more energy into the entertainment market, and we definitely want to do bigger events, more frequent events, right? You have to make sure the numbers work from time to time. We have to give thanks to people who have sponsored and make stuff available. We do need patrons, right? So what we're doing with Deon Parsons and them coming down could not have happened without the sponsorship of the HLSCC, right? Richard Georges and his team and everything. We told him what we wanted to do, and he was absolutely on board, right? So it's like, but we need more, right? We need more support and sponsorship from you to come out, to share, to, you know what I mean? To make this what we want to make it, but definitely we want to do more.
I could see the Eileen Parsons Auditorium being Ram Jam this Saturday, and then look how people running down to Rhythm and Sands on Sunday to
good music, sweet food, all right.
And to know that Fortune God is not left out of the picture. Nice. So quickly, for those who would have missed it before, what's happening, where, when, and who's to come? It's
a weekend of music for music lovers in the BVI. Good music. We have all types of performances, right? So we have 3 events, right? We have the HLSCC, right, annual spring concert that's happening on Saturday, May 17th, right, at the Eileen Parsons Auditorium with the HLSCC Jazz Ensemble, the HLSCC Chorale, and the HLSCC Dance Ensemble with special guests from the University of the Virgin Islands, Deon Parsons, right, under his Grammy Award-winning drummer Deon Parsons, his quartet, and also his quartet of students, right, from the UVI. They're going to be giving a special guest performance at the HLSCC Spring Concert on Saturday, May 17th. Then on Sunday, May 18th at Rhythm and Sands in King Garden Bay, we're going to have a mean jazz brunch. Come down, get some good food, and those guys are going to give a longer stretch performances. You're going to have performances by myself, collaborating with Deon and his team, my buddy Victor Nova, formerly Dale and Vanderpool, but Victor Nova, we'll talk about that some other time, right? And some other great local BVI musicians. It's gonna be a jam session, so okay. you don't know who's gonna jump in.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a mean jazz brunch there, and then the HLSCC is going to have an encore performance of the concert in Virgin Gorda on that same Sunday evening at the Catholic Community Center, starting at 6 p.m. And with that, you're gonna have added to the mix, you're going to have the Virgin Gorda Community Singers, the Brigado Fax Educational Center, and the Symphony Center of Excellence. They're going to add to that performance. So it's going to be a rich musical weekend for the whole family. All right. And we are pushing the arts. We're trying to make a more vibrant scene. The reason we're doing this, we're trying to make a more vibrant scene for our young people. All right. And for us. I want to feel like, I'm living in a vibesy place where I could get a range of music, right? So if you hear people saying, "No good music happening," them like, "You got good music happening, but we need your support." So please come out.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And we want to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, Kamau, it's always a pleasure hearing from you. We look forward to this great musical weekend.
Yes.
Looking forward to see what Deon and his group has to offer, because I've never really seen or heard of him before, so I'm going to be looking forward to that. And I know your minds are curious as mine is, and for those of you who know him, know that it's something good that you're going to be going out to. So let's go out this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We have a full weekend, no complaints, of great music. I am so grateful for the pleasure of your time joining us here on this edition of The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.
Large and small corporations in the BVI can't be wrong. Bovi HR, a BVI-based integrated solution of employee timesheets, leave tracking, scheduling, employment letters, HR processes, pay slips, and tax reports, including NHI, Social Security, and Inland Revenue, will make your management of employees easier. While Bovi HR can cater to the needs of larger enterprises, it also works exceptionally well for small companies. To sign up, visit bovihr.com, that is BOVIHR.com, or call us at 342-9686.